Watch your dog the next time you hug someone else. Watch where it puts its body, the head that wedges under your arm, the paw on your knee, the way it shoves in between you and whoever you were paying attention to. You've seen it. You probably laughed and called it what it looks like, jealous. For a long time, science had a rule that said you were wrong, not about what the dog did, about what to call it. Jealousy was supposed to be off limits for an animal. Too complicated, too human. Then a stuffed dog, a brain scanner, and a monkey with a cucumber started to take that rule apart. Here's why the rule existed in the first place. Jealousy isn't a simple feeling like fear or hunger. To feel it, the thinking went, you need to understand that there's a you, that there's a rival, and that a bond you care about is being aimed at someone who isn't you. That's a lot of machinery. Scientists assumed a dog didn't have it, and using the word jealous for a dog sounded like the oldest mistake in animal science. Seeing a wet nose and a sad look and pouring your own feelings into it. So the challenge was simple to say and hard to do. Show that a dog isn't just competing for a treat. Show that it specifically reacts to losing your attention to a rival. In 2014, two researchers named Christine Harris and Caroline Prouvost tried exactly that. They brought 36 dogs into their own living rooms with their owners. Then they asked each owner to ignore their dog and lavish affection on 3 different things, one at a time. The idea wasn't built for dogs. Harris borrowed it almost unchanged from a test used on human infants, who fuss in exactly this way when a parent turns to hold another baby. The first was a book, a pop-up book, which the owner read out loud and cooed over. The second was a plastic jack-o'-lantern pail. The third was a stuffed dog, a realistic one that barked, whined, and wagged its tail.
The dogs barely cared about the book and the bucket.
But when their owner started petting and sweet-talking the fake dog, they came apart. They pushed at the owner, they pawed, they snapped, and more than anything, they tried to force their body into the gap between their owner and the toy, nearly twice as often as with the pumpkin. One detail says it all. Most of the dogs, about 86%, went around and sniffed the fake dog's rear end. They were checking whether the thing stealing their person was a real dog. That's the piece the old rule couldn't explain. It wasn't the attention that set them off. It was who the attention was going to. A rival, not an object. But maybe, you could argue, the dog just needs to see it happening. Take the rival out of sight, and the reaction should vanish. It doesn't. In 2021, a team at the University of Auckland ran the harder version. 18 dogs watched their owner start to interact with a fake dog. Then a barrier slid across, hiding the rival completely. The owner kept going behind it. The dog couldn't see a thing. It could only know that its person was somewhere back there, giving affection to another dog. The dogs pulled hard toward the hidden interaction, not toward a plain object treated the same way, toward the rival they could no longer see. Think about what that takes. The dog is holding a picture in its head of something it isn't looking at, its owner, a rival, a bond going the wrong way, and it reacts to that picture. That's not a reflex to a thing in front of its eyes. That's a mind building the situation on its own. And you can watch it happen in the brain. Gregory Burns spent years training dogs to lie perfectly still, awake inside an MRI scanner. No drugs, no restraints. In 2018, his team used it to look at jealousy directly. They had each dog watch its owner drop food into a bucket, and then watch its owner feed a realistic fake dog instead. When the fake dog got fed, one region lit up harder than when the bucket did, the amygdala. The same knot of tissue that, in you, runs hot with anger and threat. And the more aggressive the dog was to begin with, the brighter it flared. So it's not just the body pushing in. Underneath, the same alarm circuit you have is going off. By 2025, researchers were pushing on the edges of it. A group in Hungary found that dogs would even get worked up when their owner paid attention to a robot, as long as the dog had briefly seen that robot move on its own, like something alive. A magazine got ignored. The moving robot got snapped at. Give a dog the faintest hint that a thing is an agent, a someone, and it starts guarding you from it. Here's where it gets bigger than dogs. Because jealousy has a close cousin, and it's a sense you'd swear was invented by humans. The feeling that something isn't fair. In 2009, researchers in Vienna sat 2 dogs side by side and asked each to do the same trick, give a paw, for a reward. As long as both got paid, both played along happily. Then they broke the deal. One dog kept getting a treat for its paw. The other got the same command, gave the same paw, and got nothing, while watching its neighbor get fed. The unpaid dog quit. It hesitated longer, refused sooner, got stressed, and kept glancing at the dog who was still getting paid. It was the first time anyone had shown an animal outside the primates keeping score on fairness. And the monkeys are where this really started. In 2003, Sarah Brosnan and Franz de Waal trained capuchin monkeys to hand over a pebble for a slice of cucumber. The monkeys were fine with cucumber, until they saw the monkey in the next cage hand over the same pebble and get a grape instead. A grape for the exact same work. The cheated monkey would take one look at its cucumber and throw it back at the researcher, sometimes rattle the cage. It had been perfectly happy with that cucumber 60 seconds earlier. What changed wasn't the food. It was watching someone else get more. And it cut deeper when the other monkey got its grape for nothing at all. No pebble, no work. The sting was the unfairness, not the vegetable. A dog guarding you from a rival. A monkey refusing a raw deal. Underneath, it's the same ancient job, keeping track of what's yours in a relationship and noticing when someone else is getting your share. So, do dogs get jealous? Here I have to slow down, because jealous is a heavy word and it carries more than any of these experiments can prove. When you're jealous, there's a whole inner storm to it. You imagine, you compare, you ache. Nobody has ever measured that inside a dog. We can't open one up and find the feeling sitting there. Not everyone is convinced it's jealousy at all. James Serpell, one of the most respected dog scientists alive, pointed out the obvious other reading. Maybe the dog is just hostile to a strange dog or fighting for a resource, and you are the resource. Nothing fancy, no green-eyed monster required. And the fairness studies come with a catch that keeps you honest. Dogs only react when they're the ones getting shorted. Give a dog more than its neighbor, and it doesn't object at all. It never gives anything back to make things even. Its sense of fair goes exactly as far as its own disadvantage, and no further. And even that reading is argued. Some scientists think the dog isn't weighing fairness at all, just reacting to a treat it can see and isn't getting, the way you might snap at a vending machine that keeps your money. So this isn't proof that a dog feels what you feel. What we can measure is everything around the feeling. The dog picks out a rival, not an object. It reacts even when the rival is hidden. Its threat circuitry fires. It keeps score when it's cheated. That's real. It just isn't a diary of heartbreak. But sit with it for a second. Strip away the imagining and the aching, and ask what your own jealousy is even for. Underneath the storm, jealousy is just an old alarm, a bond you depend on, a rival moving in on it, and a body that refuses to sit still while it happens. It's not there to make you suffer. It's there to make you hold on. That alarm is old. Older than dogs, older than us. A 6-month-old baby, who can't yet think about itself at all, will fuss when its mother cradles another infant. It's running the same circuit your dog runs when you hug a stranger, not the full human weather of it, the core of it. Somewhere right now, a dog is watching its person reach for something else, and it's crossing the room to get in the middle, because a machine much older than either of them just went off. You've felt that exact machine, you just used more words for it. They're more like you than you think.